8 daily habits to build a strong relationship. Strong relationships are built. They're not just born, right? And they are built one brick at a time. So if you are looking to have a really strong relationship, a great relationship, the relationship of your dreams, then it takes some work, and there are things that you can do to make that relationship, to build it the way you want it. And that's what we're going to talk about. Hey everybody, I'm Kevin Anthony, certified sexologist, NLP practitioner, and sex, love, and relationship coach. And for over 10 years, I have been helping men, women, and couples have the relationship of their dreams and the best sex of their lives. Okay, the number one thing on the list is to wake up together and share at least part of your morning routine. One of the ways that you build a strong relationship is through shared time together. The more shared time together you have, the more solid the foundation generally is, assuming, of course, that you are spending quality time, that your time together relating with each other is healthy time as opposed to unhealthy time. But let's just make that assumption for now. And sometimes this is unavoidable. It's not necessarily your fault. But one of the things that I see is that couples don't really spend a lot of time with each other, right? They get up at different times. One person gets up at 4, the other one gets up at 7. They have no, interaction whatsoever in the morning as they go off to do their separate things. They're gone all day long at their separate jobs. They may even come home at different times because maybe one goes to the gym or one works later than the other. At best, maybe they get 2 hours in the evening before they crash and go to bed. And if you've got kids, you probably spent those 2 hours, helping the kids with whatever, homework, getting ready for bed, blah, blah, blah. So one of the things that you can do to really build a strong relationship is find those moments where you get opportunities to spend more time together. So if you can arrange your schedule such that you can wake up at the same time and, maybe do a workout together, or at least do breakfast together. It's great if you could share a shower together in the morning. That's one of my favorite things to do. So see if you can figure out ways to have those bonding moments, just even when you're doing sort of the everyday, day-to-day things of life. Yes, you should have a date night scheduled, and that's great. But a date night once a week isn't really enough. That's kind of like bare minimum. So how can we spend time together and share with each other on a regular basis? And that is one way to do that. Number 2 is share meals together. Try to have breakfast together if you can. By the way, if you're not eating breakfast, you should be. There's tons of people who are just like, I don't need breakfast. I skip breakfast and that helps me maintain my weight. Breakfast is the most important meal of the day. Unless you are specifically doing a fast, I highly recommend that you make time for breakfast. And coffee and a donut is not breakfast, right? You got to have a good solid meal. Remember, the last time you ate was probably 12 to 14 hours ago. You want to start the day off right. So see if you can do that with your partner. If you can't do breakfast together, maybe you can do lunch together. That might be the most challenging one because typically people are at their separate jobs. But at least do dinner together. That's generally one where everybody can sit down together, share a meal, talk about your day. Again, this is another way that you can connect and bond. You can potentially prep the meal together, right? So that you have time there where you get to really just be with each other. Number 3, message each other throughout the day. Send each other little messages. They could just be check-ins. They could be keeping them up to date on something that you're doing or something cool that happened, or sharing a celebration with them. Could be flirting with them, sharing something a little sexy, right? Just check in on a regular basis. Keep that connection going. Nurture each other throughout the day. Remember, the title of this video is Daily Habits. Little things that you can do throughout the day to nurture that relationship and build that strong foundation. And messaging each other is a great way to do that. Number 4 is play the appreciation game. I have talked about this before here on the channel. I have talked about it on my channel and my podcast many times. The appreciation game, that is where you each make sure that you take a moment to share 3 things that you love and or appreciate about the other person. It's really simple. You can do it in less than 5 minutes, and it goes a long way towards deepening that connection and bond. When you take the time to share with somebody on a regular basis, just the little things that you love and appreciate about them, it makes a huge difference in how they perceive you, how they feel you, how they perceive the relationship. This game is so simple and yet so profoundly powerful. If you did nothing else on this list, at least do this one. Number 5 is flirt with each other. Successful relationships have a sexual component to them. Healthy relationships, successful, strong relationships have a sexual part to the relationship. And so you want to nurture that. I've talked about this many times here and also on my channels and shows, where you want to keep this constant state of arousal. You want to stoke the fire within little by little every single day. Little things. A flirtatious little text or a little comment or kisses here and there, squeezing each other's butts, that sort of thing. Flirt with each other, nurture that, stoke that fire a little bit every single day. Number 6 is manage your stress levels. This seems a little strange compared to all the other things we've talked about so far in this video. Like, how does this really, how does this fit in with everything else I've shared? The reality is that when people are highly stressed, they do not show up in their relationship as their best selves. When they don't show up as their best selves, they end up doing things like snapping at the other person, complaining, criticizing, right? Just being overall cranky, not doing all of those other things that we talked about that actually help nurture a strong relationship. So it's really important that every day you make sure that you're managing your stress levels so that when you do come together and you're sharing time with your partner, you are showing up as the best version of yourself. Because when you do that, you're not likely to say or do things that would negatively impact the relationship. In fact, you're more likely to do things and say things that will nurture and enhance the relationship. Number 7, do something to improve yourself every single day. It can be a little thing. It could be, that language lesson that you told yourself you're going to do every single day. It could be your workout that you told yourself you're going to do every day. It could be managing your stress levels. It could be learning something new. Right? Whatever it is, just do a little something every day to improve yourself. Now, when it comes to your relationship, that little something could be something that improves your ability to show up in your relationship. So it could be maybe learning a new communication skill. It could be taking a time to read a few pages in a book on how to have great relationships. Whatever it is, I suggest you find a way to set aside a little bit of time. It doesn't have to be a lot, just at least a little bit of time to do something to improve yourself. And lastly, number 8, go to bed together. You will actually see this on a list from a lot of psychologists when they're talking about how do you have great relationships. I started this list with wake up together, and I'm ending it with go to bed together. And then, of course, we give you a bunch of things to do throughout the day in between those two things. But you will see this on a lot of lists of things that successful relationships do. Now, I know it's not possible for everybody. Some people are on shift work. Some people's jobs can be so different. But remember, one of the most important things in your life is your intimate relationship with your partner. And when that's going badly, it will affect every other part of your life. So I suggest do what you can to structure your life so that you can spend as much time together and do those little things. You can be at work all day long, especially if you love your career, but try to make time for the really, truly important things in life, like nurturing your relationship and your family and that sort of stuff. So going to bed together is another one of those things where at the end of the day, you both get to slow down, get into bed, maybe talk a little bit first about the day, kind of unwind, cuddle with each other, touch each other, kiss each other, and preferably cuddle until you fall asleep. This is a great way to bond and end the day, and you will hear a lot of people in the field of psychology talking about the importance of going to bed at the same time. Okay, there you go. Those are 8 habits that you can do every single day to help build a strong relationship. I hope that you found that helpful. Please go take our free polarity quiz at polarityquiz.com. And of course, you can check out my website also at kevinandceline.com/link in bio for links to everything I have to offer.